I'd like to first say, smile, you're on camera. Thank you so much once again for live streaming us this evening. And don't worry, you won't necessarily be on camera, but you could be, so I don't know. Best face forward. This is so exciting tonight. So glad that you're here again. Thank you so much, Carroll Community Media Center. Dr. Jaskin, it is my pleasure to welcome you this evening to this event. And I know in large part without your support, this event would not exist. And I thank you for that. And I'm also pretty sure the McDaniel Women's Leadership Network, also in large part, is thanks to your support. We are so grateful to you, and it is my greatest pleasure to welcome McDaniel College President, Dr. Julia Jaskin.
Thank you, Kathleen. Doesn't she do a great job? I love that, absolutely. So tonight's event is always one of the highlights of the academic year. I just love the energy, the bold ideas, the creative thinking, and the remarkable talent of our students, and it is so much on showcase with every one of the presentations that you're going to see tonight. In particular, this event is special because innovation and entrepreneurship are really at the heart of McDaniel's liberal arts mission to cultivate curiosity, critical thinking, adaptability, and a desire to make meaningful change in the world. Competitions such as this call on students to ask bold questions, to challenge the status quo, to think across disciplines, to communicate ideas clearly, and argue persuasively, and to learn from failure. To our finalists, you've taken a risk by putting your ideas into the world, and that is at the very heart of entrepreneurship. We're proud of you, and we can't wait to see your ideas take hold. This evening's challenge is a culmination of McDaniel's multi-week Innovation and Entrepreneurship Challenge training program, led by our talented entrepreneur in residence, Jennifer Young, and I know for a fact that she puts these students through the paces. Seriously. She brings more than 25 years of experience in strategy, management, and consulting to this role. She's also a proud local business owner, as many of you know. She's the founder of Covalent Spirits, a craft distillery located right here in Westminster. What you may not know is that the word covalent refers to a bond formed through sharing. And Jen, that couldn't be more fitting. Thank you for the insight, mentorship, and the real-world experience that you generously share with our students. And I count myself lucky to be your friend as well, so extra bonus. Yeah. You really are helping to shape the trajectory of these students, and they're going to remember the time that you've put into them long into their future. I'd also like to extend gratitude to tonight's sponsor, the McDaniel Women's Leadership Network, as well as our invaluable alumni and faculty mentors and Pi Club members. Thanks as well to our wonderful expert judges, Graham Dodge, Greg Merrill, and Kim Samuelson. We really appreciate you being here with us this evening. So without further delay, let's get started. Please welcome Treasurer of the Pi Club, Nath Hoff.
Hello, I'm Nath Hoff. I'm the treasurer of Pi Club, and I'm here tonight to introduce you. What is the program of innovation and entrepreneurship? Essentially, we're just a group of students who we discuss and do activities related to innovation and entrepreneurship on campus, which really ties into our liberal arts education here at McDaniel. We really combine real-world experiences within club activities, which makes it a really great resource for future innovators and entrepreneurs. Regardless of if you're a business or marketing or administration major, personally, I'm neither a major nor a minor, but I still get a lot out of my experiences with it. And especially if you have a business already, or if you're going to win tonight, you should think about coming. We've done a number of activities in the past, including spaghetti and marshmallow challenge, guest speaker, happy hour events. These events really are just about having fun and learning more about business, just to kind of get engaged with each other and on campus. And just some ways to join us. You can join us on GroupMe, contact our advisors, Kathleen Pryor, Joan Liptrot, our president, Jaden Silverman, who's competing tonight, or following our Instagram at McDaniel_Pie Club, and also what's at McDaniel_Pie Club. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pie Club. You really are an amazing group of people, and it's a pleasure to work with you. And as a friendly reminder, we've got a Pie Club member who's a jewelry artist here tonight, and she is more than happy to sell you some of her fabulous jewelry for yourself or to give to others. And we'll be hearing later from Josiah Young, last year's winner of the competition. So that's exciting. I want to say I'd also like to take a moment and address the judges and say thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy and very important lives to be with us this evening. We really look forward to your wisdom, and you have a very hard job ahead of you with 5 pretty amazing finalists. But I would like to thank you, and I have your names up on the screen for everyone to see. So thank you, Graham. Thank you, Greg. And thank you, Kim, for being here tonight. Yes, let's give it up. Let's give it up for our judges. I will say this. I think that McDaniel College may have the very best alumni of any college I know. And that says a lot because I didn't go to McDaniel College, which means I'm an alumni somewhere else. So I don't know if I just totally dissed myself or what when I say that, but we really do. I love telling people what amazing alumni we have. They are so dedicated to our students and to our college. And I'd like to recognize, though they cannot be with us this evening, our five amazing alumni who, again, out of their busy schedules, took the time to mentor a finalist. And these alumni live all over the country, and they took time out to Zoom or Teams with our finalists and really give them wisdom and guidance, and I just would like to thank them. We do have in the house tonight some of our faculty mentors, and I will put you on the spot and ask you to go ahead and stand for us. And I guess I should look at the order. I have these in alphabetical order. So Dana, you're first. Dana, Professor of Chemistry. Anika Shiva, who is with the Economics and Business Department. Lori Hockley with the Economics and Business Department. Dr. Chloe Erla, who's also an alum with the Arts Department. And Bob Trader cannot be with us tonight, but he's with Communications Department. This is an exciting night, and I know you're all saying, when will we get to the finalists? I have good news for you because you're getting there now. It is my pleasure to introduce our really amazing 5 years in a row Entrepreneur in Residence, Jennifer Young.
Good evening, everybody. You excited? You ready? Yeah? You know, they always say that, you're the one in between this and your meal. Well, I'm the one in between here and all the presentations, so I'll try to make this really, really quick. I am excited to be here today. This is my 5th competition. So what exactly does the Entrepreneur Resident do? Well, basically, for the last 5 years, I have been coaching the finalists for this competition. So this is the 9th year of it. So for 5 of those 9 years, I have worked with a cohort of 5 students to get them ready for this pitch night. How many people here, this is the first time attending this competition? Okay, cool. Well, those of you guys who've been here before, thank you again for coming and rooting on our students. So the journey to get here today, we have 5 students that are going to present, but the journey started back in the fall. In the fall, there was an application process, and they had to submit their business ideas in any major, any department, no matter what grade you're in. Josiah won last year, and he was a freshman. So they applied, and we reviewed their applications in January, February timeframe. They had a really hard decision to down select to 5. The Selection committee consisted of Dana and Lori, Joan, Kathleen, and myself. And we deliberated and thought about it, slept on it, and picked 5. And honestly, I just want to say for every student, if you're watching or listening, or if you're in the room, if you had applied, kudos to you too. It is really, really hard to put your idea out there and take that step and get critiques, make it, not make it. Very few entrepreneurs make it big their very first shot. If you are one of those, we'll talk later, okay? Anyway, so we downselect to 5 and then start the hard work. And I always tell the students, like any startup, right? Unless you won the lottery, you are doing things at nights and weekends in between. You're sacrificing personal time because you're chasing after a passion, after a goal. And this is kind of how what they had to do too here. We met every week for about 8 weeks for 1 to 2 hours on a Wednesday night to put through a boot camp where they learned, got a crash course on how to do a little mini business plan, how to put a pitch together. What is a pitch? How do you pitch? What's part of a pitch? And for some students, it was also to help them craft and figure out what their business idea really is. They had an initial idea, needed some tweaking, some honing, and 8 weeks is not a lot of time to get all that done. And they put the work in, and we met one-on-one with, to go over their presentations. They were required to meet with their alumni mentors and their faculty mentors at least twice. Now, each student does earn, if they do all the requirements, they do earn $800 towards their company. But what they really want is the grand prize tonight. First place will be $5,000 to put towards their company, and there's also a People's Choice Award for $1,000. And the People's Choice Award is on all of you in the room, and I think also all of you watching too, right? So for those of you who forgot that this was also being live streamed, you can quickly find the link on the McDaniel website and send it along, and they can watch and also vote too. So yeah, so we are very excited. So today's judging, judges have a score sheet. They're gonna go over and look at things like financial model, business, how innovative is your idea, how competitive is your idea, how is the market play for your business. All the things we talked about in our boot camp is what they're gonna be judging you on. We'll go deliberate, come back, and we'll have a winner. Yeah, so they have the hard job. So every year for me, I get so excited for this pitch night because I saw the presentations on week 1, and they do not look like the way they look right now. So I'm really proud of all of you for putting the work in. I know I do put you guys through the ringer, but this is something that even if you don't start your company right away, you'll take things you learned and apply it to your schoolwork and to future jobs and so forth. So, all right. Ready to hear some pitches? All right, so in your program book, you do have a summary of each of the company. They're listed in alphabetical order. Our actual order is slightly different, but it will not be hard to follow along. All right. Okay, let me go to my next slide. Aha. So, our 5 finalists. I think you're all in the room, aren't you? So I'm going to call your name out, and I want you to just stand up, and I would like to give you guys a round of applause. So, Jaden, Carter, Axel, Byron, and Sana, please stand up. You all worked extremely hard, and we are so proud of all of you. And take a deep breath. Deep breath. It'll be over before you know it. All right. All right. So first up, we have Jaden. All right, Jaden, come on up. All right, a little bit about Jaden. Jaden is from New York City, from Manhattan. She's an ASL major, and she has created she wants to create an app called ASL Dictionary, but now it's called ASL Buddy, so it's like change in the name, but similar concept and everything. And how are you feeling tonight? Overwhelmed. Overwhelmed? Supposed to. Overwhelmed? Yes. Why?
This is a lot.
Was there a favorite moment in this whole process?
I think my favorite moment was probably the process of going through it. I have applied before a few times. I actually applied with my introduction of innovation class like a few years ago, which was kind of a fun experience. But now actually getting through the process and all that, it was really fun to see how it actually worked. Like, I don't know what happens. Now I know.
Very cool. Well, so all the pitches, they will have 5 minutes. Hold on one second. Slides are not quite right. I know. All right, everybody close your eyes. Okay. Everybody will have 5 minutes to pitch. We have a clock, and then we'll have a Q&A of the judges for about 5 minutes. All right? You ready to kick this off? Yeah. Okay. And I will start the clock when you start speaking.
Hi, I'm Jaden Silverman. I'm a senior here at McDaniel College. I'm a major in ASL, minoring in entrepreneurship. And today I'm going to talk about my product, ASL Buddy. But before I get into my stats in ASL Buddy, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the stats. So the United States population is 340 million people. The deaf population takes up 4% of that, which is 11 million people. Even though that's small, it's important. There's this communication barrier between the hearing community and the deaf community. And the deaf community have used a lot of their resources, and the hearing community definitely has a lot more access to a lot more resources. So what ASL Buddy is trying to do is we want to make more resources more available, but how does the hearing community do that? How do we do that? How do I learn ASL? So Cornell, Yale, and Harvard all have sign language courses in their curriculars. Some of them are recently added, and when they did add it, they actually increased their enrollment. But I don't want to go to college again. And according to the cognitive market research, the global sign language app market size is 7.8 billion. Yeah. And the annual growth rate is 8.8%. ASL Buddy competitors. So the top 3 competitors of ASL sign language apps, there's Signs, Lingvano, and ASL Bloom. Hate to break it to you that say that you don't like AI, but every app uses AI now. Welcome. And the basic courses of ASL, what does that mean? Basic courses just means ASL Bloom, Lingvano, and Sign just teach you about the numbers and finger spelling. ASL Buddy, however, ASL Buddy works on ASL Buddy works on more than just the fingers and the numbers. It works on the 5 parameters of ASL. 5 parameters are the palm orientation, hand shape, movement, location, and non-manual signing. Non-manual signing means it emphasizes that ASL is more than just your hands, it's your face, it's your eyebrows, it's literally your shoulders. What is ASL Buddy? It's an educational app that uses generative AI to give you right on that spot feedback while you sign. It's not that basic ASL, it gives you a lot more in the dynamics of how that language works. So I have a little bit of a game for you. So I'm gonna sign 2 different signs and I want you to tell me what they are, okay? So the point of that is you can see that those signs are very similar, but they have sometimes a drastic meaning. You can love winning, but can you win love? Maybe, I don't know. So here's ASL Buddy's prototype. So you have your welcome to ASL Buddy, you get introduced to that assistant, and then you have your games learned in your home screen. So from that home screen, you have that game button, you have the learn button. I always start with games. So you click on that game button, and then you get to that game screen, you have your matching game, you have your handshake game. I can explain those later if you have the question. What are those? And then you have that learn button. If you want to learn and you want to use ASL Buddy as a dictionary, you can do that too. I'm going to speed this up because 50 seconds. And so the learn button is if you want to record, you can literally record yourself, and that generative AI will be that feedback. That's where you do it. The more you use it, the more you get better figuring that out. ASL Buddy customers, it's everyone who wants to learn ASL. Our target customer is college students who are majors, minors, who are learning ASL. And then my financials. My financial range is huge. It's $62,000 to $240,000, and that's just the product development part. The plan for ASL Buddy is a freemium. It's dictionary free, but everything else you have to pay for. Sorry. And yeah. So thank you, and yeah. Yes, the app will look at your hands, look at your facial expression, look at every part of your body. So ASL uses the little, I call it the ASL picture frame. So you take your eyebrows and you take literally your chest, and you just kind of go like this. Yeah. I feel like to just start off somewhere, to not overwhelm the idea, because it's not an actual thing yet. It was more of a concept when I started. So I had like all the ideas, and I agree with you. I think we could expand, and I think everything can happen like that. But I do think gaming and learning is a good start to like start there and then see what happens, and then we can always branch out and branch more.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
I have a question about your market size. You said I think it was the global market was $7 billion.
Yeah.
So what would be your service obtainable market? Like what's that 11 million in the U.S., for example? Would that be your target to start with, or are you going to start globally? Like how did you think about growing in terms of what you would start with? What's that market size look like?
That's a great question. My market size is actually college students. If you think about it, that's just the fact of the deaf culture, deaf population is 11 million, and 340 million is everybody in the U.S. But what I want to start with is college students, because that's a lot smaller number, and it's a lot less scary.
Do you know what that dollar amount is in terms of that target market?
I can get back to you.
So I'm just curious as to why specific. I know that this is your major, correct?
Yeah.
And there are other applications out there that do similar work. So what specifically makes your product different from the others?
That's also a great question. There is a bunch of ASL apps out there, but a lot of them don't just use AI, and if they do, they are thankfully incorrect.
So how do you use AI specifically in the application? What language model? Do you even know that?
I would work with a technical co-founder to make sure I do that right and accurately, and we would do a lot of practice rounds, some soft openings, and then figure out the more specifics of that as well.
You had a range, I believe, for your cost to build.
Yeah.
So what's the driver of that range, for example? So what's the difference between what is my investment, so to speak, get me for you to spend $62K versus $240K?
If you invest in me, I think that I think that ASL Buddy will be on the cheaper side. I will try my best to make it on the cheaper side because, again, targeting college students, targeting the smaller side, there might be some sacrifices and challenges that I might have to debate along the way, but there are ways to figure those out that have a lot of support, and a lot of people are willing to help me figure that out.
And how long will it take you to get to a minimal viable product?
A while. But I think if I take the summer, take the fall, take a bunch of time, effort, research, I'm going to work with some AI programs and coding and all of that. And then I would figure out how to make it viable and get that break even. If we take McDaniel College, for example, we can take, there's about 120 students who take ASL 1 and ASL 2 here. And if you times that by 10, that's how much it would cost. That would just be $1,200 a month. So if you do that, it's just a little bit of a dent, and it just kind of shows the process of how it would get to that break even. It won't be that 3-year plan, it won't be like a 10-year plan, but I'm definitely going to take the time to do it.
One point on the market size, you said there's an annual growth rate of 8.8%. Why is the market growing so fast?
Because ASL is important. Thank you.
All right, now you can breathe. Congratulations. Another round of applause for Jaden. It is not easy going first. It is not easy going first. All right. We should be able to black the screen out, but we can't, so, all right. Just ignore what's going on behind you right now. All right, next up is Carter Shipley with Customizable Sports Soles. Carter is actually from Westminster, the business administration major. Customizable Sports Soles is meant to designed for optimal comfort and performance, allowing athletes to personalize their footwear experience for any activity or terrain. He will discuss a little bit about his product in the world of soccer. All right, okay. Looks like your slides are up there. You ready? Yeah? Yes? You know, get this over with. All right, let me hand you the microphone. And the clicker.
Good evening. I am Carter Shipley, a senior studying business administration. My product is Customizable Sports Soles, or CSS for short. CSS is a groundbreaking design allowing bottoms of soles to be interchangeable, and imagine every child wearing these shoes and the possibilities that they can bring them, transforming the athletic footwear industry forever. My product is intended for kids 11 to 14 with more age groups in the future. Simply take off your normal soles and change into a pair of soccer cleats. These 3D printed soles are limitless to the designs and changing the landscape of sports forever. I came up with this idea when I was 12, seeing my fellow teammate use the same pair of soccer cleats for 5 seasons, having no tread by the last season. My teammate could not afford a new pair of shoes, let alone cleats every season. If he had CSS shoes, he could have had new soles every season without purchasing a whole new pair. The problem parents and kids face are the high costs to join a new sport, let alone 2. Cleats nowadays can get up to crazy costs, increasing family spending annually. Instead of having 2 pairs of shoes, possibly more, buy 1 pair that can change out its soles to cleats, saving on money, time, and the impact on the environment. Commercial cleats all have basic tread patterns, no matter what position you play. Defensive and offensive designs can now be explored through 3D printing customization, creating a whole new sports world. Through outside customer research and a local study I took on parents of FSK Junior Eagles Soccer Club, local to Tawnytown up the road, outside research showed parents would rather purchase an all-in-one shoe rather than multiple. This is what CSS offers. Local parents were asked if their children would wear this product, and the majority said they would be open to it. Without describing the product to them, many of the parents connected the possibilities this product can do and the versatility it can bring to the field. CSS sells one pair of shoes and 2 pairs of soles for $65. Compared to commercial cleats, I am essentially offering 2 pairs for the price of 1. The 3D material is made from a thermoplastic polyurethane, the same material found in retail cleats, allowing CSS to price match. Sales would be achieved through partnering with local soccer tournaments, which would attract outside teams. By having multiple outside teams be there, CSS can generate more customers and expand our product through word of mouth. Soles would be available for individual sale in the future, once we have sold enough shoes and expanded into new sports. My short-term path includes making and wearing and testing out many prototypes to establish the best design for durability, and test 3D printing speeds to create scalability. By attending soccer programs like tournaments, the product can be in front of people to gain more knowledge in the market and generate beginning sales. Long-term goals are to expand into new sports like football, lacrosse, and baseball, testing new limits in those sports. Patents and trademarks are huge to protect the product design and sustain growth, especially when expanding into those new sports. Opening up a local store would help sustain growth and market presence locally. We would donate shoes back through either partnering with Boys and Girls Club or supplying teams with shoes locally. This product is meant to allow more kids to try sports without jumping in headfirst financially. I've seen this product like a car. If your tire went flat, would you buy a new car? Probably not. So why buy a new pair of shoes when the treads are worn out? I've had this idea since I was little, and I intend on continuing this idea no matter the outcome of this competition. By having more kids play sports can give them more of an opportunity in life. I myself use my sports skills to obtain a college education. I thank you for your time, and thank you to my advisor/faculty mentor, Dr. Hockley, and my alumni aide, Guy Sheets. You helped shape this into what it is today. Thank you.
We'll start with Graham. So, I know what it's like to grow up with wealthier friends who have the cool stuff. And so, when you take this to market, I would imagine that you're going to have an issue where if someone knows that these are the kinds of shoes that you're buying because you can't afford separate shoes, the other kids might make fun of you. Right. How do you make these shoes cool so that that doesn't happen?
So by being the only shoe on the market that can offer defensive and offensive tread, because that doesn't exist in the market, so that would give it an angle over the other shoes. Because for me personally, when I played both offense and defense in sports, so I could definitely say that there was a better tread pattern out there that could have helped me perform better on the field. So that's definitely kind of a new angle to gravitate towards. Right.
Right? So I'm a little interested in why you picked that particular age group.
Okay.
Obviously, because that's where you play soccer. But
Right.
wouldn't it older once you're already grown?
Right. So, for one, kids' feet do grow rapidly. So instead, what I'm offering is instead of having to buy your tennis shoes, your soccer cleats, and a baseball cleat every year because their feet grow, you can buy one shoe that can adapt and have multiple different soles attached to them, so you can just have one pair of shoes. Can you repeat the rest of that question?
No, it was just because if you have the one pair of shoes that you're changing out the soles, size stays the same, correct?
Right.
Okay, so the child is growing,
Right.
feet are growing, so they would have to miss the shoe
Right.
to get a bigger shoe.
But I'm saying that, like, every year you have to make that new purchase anyway. So at least you would only have to buy one pair of shoes instead of the whole lot every single year.
I see. So it's for multi-sport.
Right.
That's the core. Point. I commend the mission in terms of trying to save money because it's really expensive for kids to play all these different sports. But it seems like your value proposition of it being less expensive but also being better, I feel like you need to pick one of the two. Why not just make it market it as something that's an improvement, and it could be even a premium pricing?
That would have to be explored. It's just I want more kids to play sports, basically, having more kids be active in their environments,
Just a follow-up question then. You were talking about the cleats wearing out. Is the cleat what wears out, or does the insole and the other parts of the shoe wear out faster than the cleat, or do you find that it's the cleat that's wearing out?
So at least for me locally, we would have to play where the locker room would be across from the field. So you would have to walk across concrete or whatever. So for me personally and the people that I've played with, the cleats themselves wear out before, like, your toe blows a hole in the side or anything else like that.
In your research for this, have you considered the value that this market has to the companies that do sort of like these two-in-one type things? Like there's those sneakers that double as roller skates that people like to slide in on, you know. Or there's also, to your question, there are roller blades that you can get that are adjustable to the foot as you grow. Have you looked into who these companies are that manufacture these types of shoes and whether or not those would be exit opportunities for you to sell your company to?
I haven't, I know that they exist, but I haven't necessarily looked into what it takes for them to make these things. But in terms of an exit strategy, I would hopefully have an exit strategy of going to one of the big players, like either Adidas or Nike. And Adidas would be because of soccer, because Adidas is the biggest market out there that are producing soccer cleats. And then Nike, just because it's a passion of mine that I like Nike. And I would love to see a Jordan have this ability.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, 2 down, 3 more to go. For those of you guys who just finished, you're probably going to breathe a sigh of relief. And those who still have to go are probably just antsy right now, right? Okay, so the third one up, this is where we deviate a little bit from the program book, which goes in alphabetical order. The third one we have to present is Axel Mendoza, who is an art major from Mexico. And his company is called The Path of Mictlin. And I will let him explain what this entails. Oh, there it is. Wow. Here's the clicker. Microphone. Yeah, do that. And I will start the clock when you start speaking.
Sorry, I'm just trying. This is so nice. I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian.
This is not the time to do that, okay? Focus. All right, go ahead. You start talking, I will start the clock.
Lovely. Hello. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for this opportunity. It's been such a great experience to work alongside this wonderful, talented people. My name is Axel Mendoza, and this is the path of Mictlan. Wait, what? Don't you worry, it just means the underworld for native Central Mexican folklore. Think of it as the Greek Hades or the Norse Hell. So same vibes, different word, okay? And it is also the story of these two, Charlotte and Maria. Say hi, guys. They're a bit shy, don't worry about it. And this is an independent comic venture of myself. Well, who am I? Again, my name is Axel Mendoza, and I am a student here at McDaniel College. I am getting a bachelor's in arts, and I'm a senior. And this, I have 5 years of freelance work experience working alongside the community and other international clients. And I even got to publish a book back in 2021 in Mexico, so that was very exciting. Well, the question we're thinking right now is, why comic books? I get it. My dad asked me the same question, followed by, I thought you were going to be a doctor. But listen, okay? The comic book industry has shown a healthy, steadily growth for the past a couple years, and is projected to even win even more in the next 10 years. So we have market US research that we can see a steady growth from around 9.34 billion all the way to 25 billion over the next decade. And there are some even some other sources like Amazon Comixology that cites the growth to be even to like 59.74 billion. So, you know, big dollars. Now, the expected growth globally, this is by research markets, is to be, again, over 17.5 billion in the next 10 years. And the US market that you can see over here showcases that the growth is from 1 billion to 2.2 billion in the next 10 years. So we can see that both international and domestically, this market is growing at an incredible pace. And that also comes to our target demographic, who is millennials and Gen Z, sorry, who are much more inclined to like visual narratives. A study by the American Library Association showcases that 59% of Gen Zs and millennials prefer comic books and manga. Manga just means Japanese comics, don't worry about it. Over just only textbooks. And another study by the same association showcases that subscription-based model like Webtoon and Radish are huge right now, with 12% of Gen Z and 8% of millennials already subscribing to Dead Stories. So we have a market and a growth. Now, the great thing about comic books is that it's a huge market, but the bad thing about it is it's also a huge market. So how can we get our public here? Well, appealing to niches, which is kind of my thing. So my niche here is folklore based with some action and a little bit of romance over here. You might say, well, that's specific, mates. And I would say, well, Hellboy and Lore Olympus did the same thing back in the day. And they were hugely successful. What's the difference? Simple. Mine isn't over. Hellboy published its last episode back in 2019, and Lore Olympus concluded in 2024. By creating a new, bold series, we can snatch a little bit of this market and take it all for ourselves. Our business model, well, here you can see that this is a little bit very, very, very inexpensive, most of it because it's a one-man show. I'm doing all the writing and arts. So with an investment as little as $3,920, we can see and expect to grow in the first year all the way to a total revenue of $13,000 before taxation. And as our business model relies mostly in direct common sales and digital subscriptions, we get to keep most of the income. So around a margin of around 70% of profit. Our marketing strategy, the Path of Mictlan relies heavily on our community. So if you go right now to Gotham Comics all the way in Main Street here in Westminster, you can see the prototype for the first episode for completely free, and you can access to it again. We're also relying on social media ads to push our comic into new places. But now is the fun part, because I get to talk about the comics and showcase the art. What is the Path of Mictlan? Well, the Path of Mictlan, as I said, is the story of Charlotte and Maria, paranormal cops in Mexico City who are supposed to battle, cry, and empathize with monsters and ghosts. I've always loved monsters, and I finally get to write this story and showcase my culture and everything that means a lot to me with all of you guys. And I mean it, because the Path of Midland is available to you right now for free. Check it out. Right. Yeah, my buddy Jacob is going to start giving you some QR codes so you can access the comic book for free completely. And for the judges, I did print the prototype alongside some artwork so you can enjoy and take home. Well, not the big one, because that one is for me, but this one is artwork.
The first question.
There you go.
Or you can pass.
I did have a quick question. You didn't get into too much detail about like your marketing and branding.
Of course. Because the Path of Midland relies so much on like cultural and like rely on your community, I thought I could do the same thing. So first of all, we're doing a local push for the marketing here in a local comic book shop, Gotham Comics, that is hosted by the wonderful Mr. Forney. He right now has a prototype like the ones you have, so clients can go and check it out. And I also, it came in the budget, but it also has like a marketing budget of around $100 that I can use in social media and diverse medias like Instagram mostly, because that's the art social media. Yes, Mrs. Yang did tell me that we can rely on like local Comic-Cons, and that would be an amazing thing. But for that, I would need to print the whole thing first. Well, you know, print some things to take it. But yeah, that's definitely a thing we can do. The digital side has the advantage that it, like most of the profits go directly to you, because you don't have to deal with like shipment or like paying for other stuff. So that would be the greatest one. For me, it's a subscription model that relies on people to read it digitally, and then they can buy it if they want it. Yes, ma'am?
Okay. Your artwork is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. So your business model, then, as I understand it, is a online online sales of the comic book.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to be marketing through online channels.
Yes, sir.
So then this becomes an online marketing business. Have you looked into what your estimated cost of customer acquisition is?
Well, the profits I said for the first investment of around from $100 to $300, we can see around a spread of around 300,000 people of reach. So after that, I did run some numbers after like how would it look with a 15% or a 10%, and those are the numbers that went into my total revenue for a year. I think I went with a lower conservative estimate of around 20%.
Have you looked into what other comic books have been able to do in terms of customer acquisition costs as a comparable?
I did run the numbers for both Lore Olympus and Hellboy. It's very secretive, this comic book industry. If it's not like overseas international, they tend to be very close guarded with the numbers. But the customer acquisition, I would not be able to be like that.
So you had $100 budgeted for your
$100 to $300, yes.
to $300, but your revenue was estimated at $13,000
Over a year, yes.
over a year. So you can generate $13,000 in revenue with $300 in.
Is for the first push, but obviously this is like divided alongside the year. So the way I did it was the year is divided by 4 months every 3 times, like the seasons. So it would be like $100 of each one, and that would be the push that would take us to the finish line. So we don't only rely on $300 and that's it. So it's 100, 100, and 100.
Okay. Seems aggressive, but.
In your graph where you showed Marvel and DC and then all
Yes,
the
sir.
independent publishers, that one, thank you. That 920 million, how many independent publishers make up that number, do you know?
I think it's divided by like the whole pie of independent numbers. If we were going to go to specific cases, it would be very hard because there's some of them that are very successful and some of them that don't sell at all.
Well, right, and it's like with Spotify and other types of creative platforms, most of the revenue comes from the bulk of those independent artists, but the individual independent artist doesn't make that much money.
Yes, sir.
What is that average amount that each independent publisher makes? Do you know that number?
I don't think I have the number itself, but I did went to like conservative estimates because I was concerned about the thing you're saying, and that's what gave us our thing. If you realize this is not an inflated number, like this is barely to get by in a year. So I was going with conservative estimations to make sure I am not aiming too high. Like this comes from around 10 to 20 people subscribing faithfully that would bring me to the finish line every single year.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, 2 more to go. It's exciting here, last 2? Yes? All right, so Byron, you're up next. You brought a cheering section with you. Byron Flores is a cinema major from Frederick, Maryland, and he is going to talk about his company, his business idea called Ring. It is his take on a new cooling tower technology of sorts. He will go into detail about that. Here's your clicker and microphone here or in your hand or you're there. All right, there you go. Now we'll stop the clock.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. My name is Byron Flores, and my product is called Ring. I've worked construction, and when you're outside, you're always dealing with the burning hot sun, so you get sunburned. So you try to find a method, such as like a cooling towel, but there's some issues. The disadvantages are that it's only able to cover a small area, and as well that it's only able to stay around your neck and it slides off. Now, the way I have it is that Ring is supposed to be submerged underwater for 30 seconds, and then you pull out and then you wring it out, the excessive water. Then you apply it onto the user's head, allowing the user to be able to have 3 to 4 hours worth of cooling. Now, Ring will be made out of 100% polyester material and have will have the UPF 50, being able to block out 98% of the UV radiation produced by the sun. A lot of the brands that were up there, like Nike and Columbia and Lululemon, use it for activewear. I want to bring this technology into the industry of construction. Now, I understand that a lot of people have different size heads and they like different types of things, so this is where we want to focus on. We want to try to convey something that really targets this market. I did a research for 30 construction workers, and they told me that the cooling towel is great. However, the issue is that they're only able to cover a small area and that the cheap ones keep on sliding off of their face while they're working. Now, one thing I do want to say right here is that the current market sits at $500 million in 2024, and it is subject to triple in 2033, going up to $1.5 billion. The current two foreign companies that are in control of the market, and there are 2 foreign companies that have control of the market, and Amazon is one of them, taking over 74% of it, leaving 26% for Ring to be able to come in and have an innovation and disruption for it. Now, the way we want to market is that we want to be able to use social media to our advantage, and then we also want to be able to use unions and construction retailers. Now, by using unions, it allows us to be able to open up the doors to 800,000 workers in the DMV, and that's not including the entire United States. Now, these are some of the competitors that we have, such as Mission and Buff. Now, I put up a chart up here. You can see the advantages and disadvantages between each company. Some of the customer reviews state that they're very flimsy, they rip easily, they slide off while you're working, as well as the quality concerns for the material. On this chart, you're able to see how much it would cost for us to be able to produce ring. Now, we have it for 20 by 30 inches would be able to produce 3 rings on the manufacturer side. We've calculated as well as the labor, the material, and the thread. By this, we are able to see what we would be spending on between the trademark, the patent, as well as the advertisement for the product, and be able to break even by the second year. By the third year, we'll be able to be operating by 27% margin. Our future plans is to be able to use new materials, come up with new designs such as silk, and being able to use new designs for people who particularly want something new, either that we want to focus in on the world of construction and what they want. And then being able to open up the doors to like farmers and other stuff, which opens a whole nother door for the market.
All right, Greg, we're back
My
to
turn
you,
again.
right?
Okay. So I liked when you were saying that you were thinking about marketing B2B, which is like selling it to the unions. You had a chart up there that talked about the competition being on Amazon and other things. Is your thought to sell this into the union so that all the union members are getting it through their union? Is that the idea?
Well, because it would be a new product, we want to be able to use the opportunities such as the unions to really push the brand name out and then get the word out like that. That way, it's almost a way of marketing, like word of mouth about the product.
I think you showed a slide that had examples of yours. Were those yours, or was that another company? The one that had all the different colors?
These? No, these are my designs. Correct. Yeah. The way I like it is that one would be for like the one on the bottom would be for like air ventilation to be able to cover the back of your neck, because when you're working, sometimes the sun's burning you, or the top of your head, and you can't really do anything with the cooling towel because it's only able to cover one small area. So I designed something to be able to hold that, as well as a lot of safety features is such as like you have to have safety glasses on certain job sites. So allowing little slits to be able to go on the side of your head and put it behind your ear is kind of important, because you don't want to accidentally have something fly in your eye and then you have to go to the hospital or something like that.
And then I just had a question about when you mentioned Amazon being a competitor, are they actually manufacturing their own versions of these, or are you talking about just the distribution channel?
Well, there's both. So you can get Amazon Basics ones for something like that, as well as there are other competitors that sell their merchandise on Amazon. There are. No, there are. However, they are not focused in on the world of construction. They don't really zero in on the idea of what the people need. They have to be able to make it for the masses, and sometimes it doesn't really work for one specific group. So that's where we come in, and we want to take advantage and innovate the design for it. Correct. Correct.
Okay, we are now down to our last finalist. Sana, come up and join us up here, please. Sana Askari is a political science business administration, and Arabic and Middle Eastern Studies major from Afghanistan. She is going to talk about Eschil, as written in the program book. It is a social enterprise that creates hand-embroidered scarves and earrings using embroidery techniques indigenous and deeply rooted in the Hazara culture. And she will explain a little bit more about what she plans on doing with Eschil. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's as excited as I am. My name is Sana Askari. I'm a junior, triple majoring in political science, business administration, and Arabic and Middle Eastern studies. My story began as a refugee in Pakistan, but I belong to the Hazara people of Afghanistan, or otherwise known as Afghanistan. My community has endured systemic racism, structural violence, and genocide for over 130 years. I would not be here if it were not for the embroidery skills that my mother taught me, which became my means of survival and passion. These skills helped me fund my education by stitching scarves part-time and attending school part-time. So in 2021, a year before I started college at McDaniel, that's the celebration, by the way, when I accepted the offer, I realized that I could empower other women in my community to help them earn an income doing embroidery, working from home. And that's when my community passion project was born. Starting with 1,800 Pakistani rupee, and that is $10 in seed funding. Since 2021, my team and I have completed 300 projects employing 40 women. And here's a roadmap of what I have achieved. In 2021, I created some sample prototype designs and built a community of collaborators who helped me get the word out about Eschil. And 90% of our prototypes sold out. How cool is that? In 2022, we delivered 25 orders. In 2023, we delivered 60 orders. And in 2024, we doubled it to 160. And that's when I realized that this could be a real thing and, have a greater impact on my community. So I decided to turn my passion project into an actual business. So 2025 marks the birth of Eschil. I have submitted the trademark application, which is pending, and we are expecting to close the year at 300 projects. And we have accumulated around 38,000 followers across social media with over 5 million views. So, Eschil is going to be a nonprofit with an online store dedicated to preserving the Hazara cultural identity through sustainable practices of creating hand-embroidered accessories, including scarves and earrings. But our broader vision and mission goes far beyond that, and Eschil's foundation is built on cultural preservation as refugees assimilate into their new culture, addressing unemployment faced by Hazara refugee women, educating Hazara youth in the diaspora about their rich cultural heritage, and introducing the global community to the art, resilience, and history of the Hazara people. Last but not least, building a community of empowered women and those who support our work, including you all. So here's roughly how our operational model is going to look like. In the first step, my team and I will develop the embroidery designs. Then we will source the material and distribute it to the artisans. They get paid after the work is finished based on project. And it comes back to us for quality control and assembly, which is then distributed to customers. And the global embroidery market size was 1.54 billion in 2024, which is expected to reach to 2.64 billion by 2033, so showing a compound annual growth rate of 6.1%. And 89% of Americans are willing to switch brand to support companies associated with a social cause. And corporate giving through cause marketing in 2024 reached to 21 billion, showing a 13.4% increase since 2021. Here's an overview of our expense and revenue projections. And how would this award benefit Ashil? I can use this award to apply and register for nonprofit status, seek legal counsel to establish legal global framework for operations, develop a website, and streamline sales on Etsy platform. And thank you so much.
Great presentation. I love your story.
Thank you.
Curious about sort of, I guess, the fair trade aspect of this. How does that work? Do you get that designation at a certain point? You mentioned quality control being here in the States with you. Is that correct?
No, everything is being produced in Pakistan. So I have a team who I work with, and that's where everything is being produced. And the artisans get paid the local minimum wage, which is something that otherwise would not be available to a lot of them. But it is based on per project. We try to be flexible with that because a lot of women take care of their families, they have children, so they don't have a lot of time as compared to some other people, and we don't want to exclude them. So in that sense, we pay them per project depending on the work. So the samples that I have provided, you have like 3 different samples. Like the blue one requires months to complete, while the green one takes maybe like a couple months, and the white one, maybe someone would do it like in a couple weeks. Yes. So all my teams are in Pakistan. Yes, that's my plan.
Love the mission, love your story.
Thank you.
Ultimately, selling the product is going to provide you with the leverage to be able to scale what you're trying to do. Can you talk more about how you're going to get sales? You talked about Etsy, but I don't know how you're actually going to generate interest in selling the product.
Yes, that's something that I'm still exploring and learning, but we have been selling our products mainly across 4 countries. A huge part of our customers in Pakistan, Australia, United States, and Europe, and I have a huge market opportunity to grow in the United States, given consumers willing to switch brands to support organizations associated with social causes, and corporate giving, or for-profit companies donating to nonprofit companies. So I do have a great opportunity to grow here in the United States since I am based here, but I am still like learning, as I go.
So when you talk about the embroidery market, is that for specific types of cultures and clothing, or are you talking about like every embroidered product under the sun?
So there are a bazillion kinds of embroidery product, but the one that I am focusing on is specifically hand embroidery, the one that you do with a needle in your hand, and that includes all the cultures. That's like the overview, but there are variations, and these embroideries that I have provided the sample, the earring, including this scarf, are very specific and indigenous to my community. But there are other samples too, like different designs.
Embroidered too?
So the blue one is actually a vintage item. That is my father's wedding scarf embroidered by my mother. So that is very close to me, yes. That's like a sample of the vintage work that we're trying to bring back. But the other ones are like the more newer styles. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here.
Can all 5 finalists please stand up again? Let's give them all a big round of applause. You guys did a great job, and I will be honest, every night during pitch night, I get really excited, and I love being in this role. But I tell you, 10 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, I might be a little more nervous than excited because we have so much work to do to get to this point. And I want to say to all of you, I know I was rough on you and tough on you. You had a lot of tough love. There's a lot of tough questions. But, I mean, you handled the judges' questions with grace. You were able to present. The nerves didn't get to you. And that's because of all the practice and all the hard work you put in. So I commend all of you. Congratulations on completing your pitch. It was wonderful. I am very proud of all of you. I always feel like a proud mother hen at the end of this pitch night and everything. But we're not done yet. So as you guys get to hang out and have coffee and dessert and who knows what else kind of fun, we're going to go upstairs and have a really, really hard job to decide who wins tonight. And then there's also the People's Choice, right? I will pass the microphone to you, and I'm going to skedaddle upstairs.
All right, judges, thank you for deliberating. We look forward to your return. Those of us in the room, while the judges are deliberating, we will hear from Josiah Young in just a moment. But first, get out your phones. And I'm a professor, and I'm here to tell you, if you've had me in class, I'm always like, put your phones away. But right now I'm saying take out your phones because this is your opportunity to select the one finalist who is the People's Choice Award winner. So please go to slido.com and you will see in slido.com a place to put in that code. To the folks watching us in the live stream, you are welcome to do this as well, and please do. When you enter the code, you will see a list of our 5 finalists. Select one, hit enter, and please vote one time. In fact, I think I set it up so you can only vote one time. This voting will end in 5 minutes. So after you vote, please get up and enjoy some of these lovely pastries. They're delicious, and we'd like you to enjoy them. When this closes in now 4 minutes and 30 seconds, we will hear from last year's winner, Josiah Young. Please enjoy some pastries. I'd like to ask you to please have a seat because we're going to go ahead and bring up Josiah Young, who is the founder and CEO of Youngblood LLC. Josiah, come on up here. Will you all join me with some applause for last year's winner?
Thank you so much. I'm getting PTSD from standing up here, and the reason behind that is glossophobia is the second worst fear, and that's the fear of standing up and speaking in a public sense. The first fear being the fear of death, obviously. And when you win, it's really scary because right now I imagine all of you guys are shivering in your boots, waiting for the final results. Well, she's laughing it off. She's enjoying herself. But when you win and you grab that check, do not cry on camera. That is my first advice. You do not want to be that guy. Not that I have any experience with that, but don't watch last year's competition. Over the summer, I advise you all to use that money and take that business and actually start trying to produce it. Turn that idea into a real manifestation of your hopes, dreams, and passion. And once you do that, you come back and maybe tuition takes some of that money out of you and you're at a low. But slowly you realize that there's a community here to help you. I needed money, so I reached out to the people among this room who have contributed to Indiegogo campaign I needed to raise money for my card game. That helped a lot, and my life slowly started to turn around again, but I was hurting in so many places at so many times, and my life slowly became the card game. I realized what I needed was healing, so I started taking life with more gratitude. I was dedicating every day just trying to push this game out to make sure I wasn't disappointing the people who voted for me today or today last year ago. And I was trying to just help my passion and achieve my dreams of just making sure that I was able to give back to the people who believe in me. And once you reach that, I think that's when you're actually like at your highest because you achieved your dreams and you started accomplishing your goals, you believe in yourself, you accomplished the missions you came out here to do, and you achieved it. And that's all you really need, really. Thank you.
One thing I didn't hear you say, or maybe I missed it, did you say that the product is en route? Okay, so talk to us about that.
Well, if you didn't catch on, I made the game, but Customs is looking at it to make sure it's not contraband. I imagine like 40 boxes of card games is very sus, so you wouldn't want that. Also, you can follow me on social media on Instagram, Youngblood Games, if you want to reach out and get yourself a copy of the game. And once you do win, definitely go out to 1 Million Cups. They have a great opportunity to meet with local business leaders and owners and connect with the Westminster community. And after that, go for the Carroll Biz Challenge, which is what I'm going to go for this year, and try to grab yourself 10,000. And that's it.
But not quite it, because if you are interested in being notified when the game's available, maybe you already said this, yes? But we're a little, I'm a little old-fashioned maybe, so I encourage those that I have just a piece of paper and people can put down their email addresses and he'll email you. He is not old-fashioned. He said, well, no. What, you have a QR code or something? What is it?
Yeah, I do have a business card.
Okay. He's got a digital business card. So either way, I encourage you, again, order the game. Well, not order it because you won't be buying anything, but get on the list to purchase the game when it makes it through Customs. I know I plan to. It's really a terrific game. And if you haven't seen it yet, there's some on his table. So the judges will be here momentarily, but please feel free to get up and take a look at the table. And again, we've got a jewelry artist here tonight. You would think that I'm getting a cut of anything she brings in, but I am really not. I am really not. Our judges should return momentarily, so please enjoy this evening, enjoy conversation, and we will be very excited to hear what the judges have to say. Thank you.
announce the winners. So did you guys enjoy the pitches? Yes? Anybody inspired to apply next year? Not the adults, the students. All right. So first up is the People's Choice Award. And I think this might be the first time this has happened, at least in the last 5 years. We actually have a tie. Yes. So we will have 2 winners, and you will have to split the prize money. So it'll be $500 each. So I'm happy to call up Jaden Silverman. And in our haste, we might have misspelled your name a little bit, so we'll give you a new one tomorrow, all right? Congratulations, congratulations. And our second People's Choice winner is Sana Ascari. Here you go, congratulations. Congratulations, congratulations. All right, for the grand prize winner of $5,000, drum roll. It was a very, very close competition, but we are excited to award $5,000 to Eshil. Congratulations, Sana. Congratulations. You now have to walk around campus with that all week long. No. Congratulations. Anything you want to say?
So I would first like to acknowledge that half of the population in Afghanistan are barred from education. Women in Afghanistan are banned from school, university, work, anything you can imagine. And me being here, getting education, and having all these resources to achieve my dream, sometimes it honestly feels like, I'm like, is it a reality? Like, I just check with myself every once in a while. I'm like, wait, is this a reality? Am I actually here? I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful to the McDaniel community, to everyone here, and so thankful for this. I had so much to say in my presentation, and Ms. Jen knows I had to cut so many things. And one of the things that I was going to say is like, this is more than every milestone I have achieved in my life. Like even having to pitch my idea, let alone like winning, the competition. It's like, it's a dream come true. Like growing up with very limited access to education, to resources, in Pakistan as a refugee, I could have never imagined, like being here. I could have never imagined, but thanks to the support from my mom, and thanks to the perseverance that runs through my blood, and giving up that has never been an option for me, self-educating myself and being here tonight. I'm not gonna cry because where's Josiah? He said not to cry, so I'm not gonna cry, but I was just telling to my friends that nobody knows about it. Like my mom, nobody knows about it. She was complaining last week that I don't call her these days. And I could not tell her why. I was like, Mom, I just have classes. And then she's like, what kind of class is that? Like that's the question that she asks me every time. By the way, I am in class from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Mondays. So you can imagine, sometimes I do have those instances, but she's like, what kind of class is that? Every time she asks me that question, and sometimes I'm in class, and then she just keeps calling and calling and calling, even though my phone is on silent. So she doesn't know about it, because she would ask so many questions. Like every day she wakes up, she's like, what happens? What happens? Like, tell me everything. I'm like, oh my God, stop, because you're making me anxious. So she doesn't know about it. They are, I think, 7 hours ahead of us. Like the time zone is different. So she will wake up in a couple hours, and I can't wait to tell her everything. I'm so excited again. It's going to go very far, and the impact is going to be huge. Thank you so much, everybody, for being part of it. Thank you so much, Ms. Jennifer. Oh my God, I need some water. Ms. Jennifer, Professor Pratt, Joan, everybody involved, and thank you so much to my advisor, Dr. Ferraris, and thank you so much to Dr. Hockley. Even though she was not my advisor, but we have been working a lot before this pitch, behind the scenes and everything. And thank you so much to my friends for giving me the energy. Thank you so much to everybody.
All right, Kathleen, any closing remarks?
Thank you. Congratulations again to our winners and to all of our finalists. All of you are amazing and have done great work. Judges, thank you very much. President Jaskin, thank you for being here tonight. We kept you a little long tonight, but I think it was worth it. And on that note, I would like to say to all of you, be well.